anybody out there, they have anything for the notary business, definitely going to be going in a little bit more depth about how the notary business works in the Shenandoah Valley for all those of you that need that. And C, Charles Harris, we are LegalShield.com. Definitely the value of that is tremendous. Definitely, if you are looking for any legal assistance, legal help, see Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. Definitely, absolutely check that out. If you have any questions or concerns or anything like that, definitely check it out. She also said we are LegalShield.com. So absolutely not going to be doing a Legal Shield live stream quite yet because I'm doing a lot, but look for that soon as well. Not too far away from that, getting a Harris Legal Shield live stream. So, Raven fans, let's get down into the business of the NFL. We're here one more week. Last week without a game. Last weekend without a game for quite a while. So the Ravens Unleashed season kickoff spectacle, rather. We are going to talk about the Ravens season starting today. The cuts happened. The practice squad, the cuts happened yesterday. They announced the 53-man roster late yesterday. Raven Sports got 52 of the 53 names right on the 53-man. I mean, it was exactly almost how I predicted it Wednesday, with the exception of Owen Wright, who broke his foot in the game, and I guess we'll never know. Rasheen Ali starts the season as the third running back. So 52 of 53. I didn't see that anywhere else. So outstanding stuff there, as well as happy about that. We got a lot of those right as far as predictions. So what happened? Who got waived? A lot of these happened on Monday, I believe. This list here. Jack Browning was in camp. Mike Ridgerman, Sean Ryan, Riley Sharp, Darnell Simpson, Tremel Watford, and they terminated the contract of Russell Gage. Gage really didn't get much of a chance to play. They're a little bit of a surprise. I think they probably just used a vet as a camp body. Sometimes they do that. Sean Ryan had a good camp last year, kind of not quite as good this camp, so didn't make it. Was cut pretty early. Also cuts Julian Pearl, CJ Ravenel, Yandy Rigby, Josh Ross, Dayton Wade, Demarion Williams, better known as Pepe, Kadar Holloman, John Kelly, Keith Kirkwood, Anthony Miller. All right, we're on that list. Okay, a little bit here. Josh Ross, I know some people had him making the 53. I think he was kind of just left off. Interesting to see how guys like this go around the league, because with the new kickoff rules, I think you're going to see smaller guys on the kickoff returns, less physicality. Teams might be going for more speed. Dayton Wade had a good camp. I mean, there's no questioning that. I mean, he was pretty good. I don't think there was really a spot for a receiver unless they took 7. I don't think the receivers weren't great. So I understand why some people like Dayton Wade. I would have had no problem, by the way, either if they had taken him. I didn't think they would, but I had no problem if they had left Dayton Wade and left Hardy off. So I had no problem. I didn't think they were going to do that. Demarion Williams, Pepe Williams. I think the handwriting was on the wall for him before the season even started. Look what they did in the draft. They went out and they got Nate Wiggins. They got TJ Tampa. That kind of tells you what they kind of thought. They also had 2 starters ahead of them anyway, with Marlon Humphrey and Brandon Stevens. So I thought his shot was long anyway. I think they already had Arthur Millette. I think Jalen Armour Davis had a good camp, a little bit better than him. So I think he got the final spot. I don't think there was another spot for either one had Arthur Millette not gotten injured. So I think these are just the cuts. We'll get to the practice squad and who got brought on the practice squad, et cetera, here in a second. Because there's a lot here. More wave players: Corey Bullock, Chris Collier, Bump Cooper, Malik Cunningham, Darian Dahlhurt, Joe Evans, Quire Ishmael, Emory Jones, Devin Leary, Tayshaun Manning. Okay, so we'll get to the practice squad and all that in a second. Final 53, Quadir Ishmael. Definitely, his father played for the Ravens, so that definitely does help. He was probably considered the fourth best tight end in camp by a lot of things I'm hearing. So, but he didn't make it. I didn't think there was any chance those three were knocked out of that. So it was an uphill battle. Malik Cunningham at wide receiver. Other people like him more than I've always liked him. I think he's a pretty good athlete, but I don't know if he has a position in the NFL. Emory Jones, Devin Leary. I didn't think either one of them was that good. I thought Leary was just atrocious in camp. Emory Jones, I think at least decent enough at the end of one preseason game. Tayshaun Manning was interesting. I heard some people thought that he might have made the 53-man roster. I saw that and read that in a couple places, a couple other sources out there. I kind of didn't think that he would make the roster. I think that was kind of just almost an anti-Salah vote with Tayshaun Manning. I think he was probably the next best out of it. Had they had a couple openings, I definitely think that would have happened. That could have happened in his case. Dedrin Sanat, injury settlement. Josh Tapanu, injury settlement. Basically, what that means is they were kind of, if they were injured and you waive them, you can't just cut them and you have to pay them, give them some. I'm not exactly sure how the money works, but you can't, like if somebody breaks their arm or breaks their foot or get injured on the field, you have to kind of give them something as far as that goes. And Daryl Worley, Dayton Jennings, Deion Jennings, Christian Matthew, Trayvon Mullen. Couple of those guys were injured. Worley, you'll probably see him in the Ravens uniform. And this happens like every year with him. There's going to be injuries. This is the first person they're going to call. He knows that as well. Trayvon Mullen can't really stay healthy. I think he's good in camp, but really can't stay healthy. I think he's probably good enough to be an NFL player. Does he have the physicality to be healthy enough to be an NFL player? Couple more things. PUP, Keaton Mitchell. He's definitely going to be on the roster. Probably second half of the year. PUP physically unable to form. He's going to miss the first 4 games. Malik Ham, injury. I don't think he'll play at all this year. Arthur Millette, IR, injured reserve, designated to return. Not sure with Millette. I haven't heard as much. All they would say in camp is it's not season ending. I think I'm kind of getting the vibe it's not as bad as Keaton Mitchell, but I'm not exactly sure. They're not going to be available for the first quarter of the season for sure. Now, practice squad. Who are all three of those guys we mentioned? Cuts. Anthony Miller, as far as going to be on the practice squad. So this is going to be the first practice squad. What is a practice squad? Guys who are not on a 53-man roster, but the team is retaining them for practice purposes. Okay, so they'll be at the facility every day. They'll be in the playbook every day. They'll be in and out of the building. They're just not eligible to suit up for games. They don't get a salary in terms of active roster, but they do get something. I don't know what a practice squad guy gets. I think it's different for vets and young players, but they don't have to pay them for roster, but they'll be there in the building every day, getting ready, and they'll be the first ones to pull up. Thing about practice squad as opposed to 53, in large part, if you are able to, another team is able to pull your practice squad guy. So what happened like a couple years ago, give a great example, Ravens wanted to put Ben Mason on practice squad. Ben Mason was a fullback, and he goes and signs with New England, right? So you can pull a guy from the practice squad if he's not on the 53. 53, you can't pull a guy off the first 53 roster. Once a guy's on a 53, then he's protected from another team. So these guys are not protected, but they're allowed to be on the team and practice. A couple years ago, they do have a rule where it used to be just young players. Nowadays, you can have vets, right? You can have Anthony Miller, a Kadar Holloman, to use those two. I just said that. They're on the screen here. But you can have guys like that, vets, that can play on the practice squad and pull them when you and pull them when you need them. So those were the first two. A lot of these guys, almost all of them, were recent cuts. CJ Ravenel, Devin Leary. I'm surprised that he was taken on the practice squad. He was bad. He was not good. I don't think Emory Jones made it, so I was a little surprised to see that it was him over Devin Lloyd. But I did think though, with his draft position, they see something. So a lot of work to do. I'd be surprised if he sees the field at all this year, but they're going to keep him on practice squad. Keith Kirkwood, not bad camp. I mean, had his moments. Darian Dalcourt, Dayton Wade, for sure they were going to take him. I mean, I thought you could argue he was the best receiver overall camp as well. Malik Cunningham, tremendous athlete. Chris Collier, Joe Evans, Quadair Ishmael, Joe Evans, Josh Ross, John Kelly, Bunk Cooper, all on the practice squad there as well. So that's pretty much how it shook out there. I'm trying to think if I forgot one. I don't think I did. Yeah, that's everybody. So that's the practice squad. That's what it's going to look like. So these guys are going to go ahead and back up the first 53 on practice squad. So that is the way that's going to go. Interesting how this goes as the first game. Ravens, I got to tell you, and I'm going to bring this up, and this is to some degree, it's going to sound like a whiny content creator thing, like they're, because it is to a degree that, but it kind of goes to the larger point that I'm trying to make here. The Ravens, of all the 32 teams, they were 32 releasing the the rosters. Looking at the rosters yesterday when teams released them, they had to have everything done Tuesday at around 4 o'clock. I'm recording this on a Wednesday night. So Tuesday around 4 o'clock, you had to have everything done. So all the players had to be cut. You had to make your decisions on your final 53, turn into the league, everything done Tuesday at 4 o'clock. A lot of teams around the league had theirs done. I was at work, and the Jaguars one, I think, was already out at 3 o'clock, the final 53. A lot of teams was already out earlier in the day. The Ravens didn't release theirs until, I think it was 8:30. I didn't see it before 8:30. It could have been. Now, a lot of us content creators or whatever, people like were kind of whining about it because, one, you want to get work done. It's just waiting. Now, what's the point of that? Because they're just releasing the roster. So what? The point of that, this is kind of the philosophy on everything, right? The Ravens slow walk everything. Everything is a no rush. Everything, hey, well, we're going to wait till the last day to sign Lamar. We're going to wait to the last second to sign man, but we're going to wait to the last. That is their mantra here. It's worked for so many years, but they wait. Oh, it's a competitive thing. Oh, we can't. Oh, we got to wait till the last. This is kind of their model of success, just waiting everything. Something nobody would think about, right? Releasing the 53-man roster, and they just waited till 8:30 to do it. So, but that's the point with the Ravens. The Ravens kind of are very patient with everything. They do not move fast. So that, I think that's the point to bring that up with that. This is our prediction. Harbaugh did not want to say who it was to start the offensive line. This is what our final prediction is. Ronnie Stanley, Andrew Voorhees, Tyler Linderbaum, Daniel Falele, Roger Rosengarten. That's the 5 I think that's going to start in the first game. I think Falele, we apologize for that spell wrong. Voorhees, I think Voorhees and Rosengarten I'm not worried about as young guys. I think there were mistakes by them, but they haven't really played at all. So you're going to do that. Ronnie Stanley, really haven't probably much been in bubble wrap. Linderbaum's back at practice. Falele looks horrible. He mentioned having a rotation. I'm almost guaranteeing that. He said at tackle he doesn't mind rotating. He's going to rotate at guard too. I want to say this about Ben Cleveland as well. Ben Cleveland did make the roster as well. The Ravens are tearing 10 linemen, as I predicted in the prediction. They're carrying 10. Nick Samak, Ben Cleveland, McCarty, Salah is also on there, and that was the last one. Uh, Josh Jones. Josh Jones is on there as well. So they're carrying 10. They're going to rotate a lot. I don't think that this is a final. I'll say this. I've really looked at the whole, because Falele has just not looked good in camp. I would say this. I've really asked and trying to see why Ben Cleveland isn't playing more at right guard. Because it kind of just doesn't make, I mean, you can't be that happy with Falele and where he's starting. I'm looking at the two, and there's some mental things I'm seeing, but I really do think that there's something more here than what we know. I mean, you can't be looking at Falele and say, well, this guy is the future of our football team at guard as well. I think they may be looking to make a move of some kind. Of course, they were going to say that, but it's interesting to see. It seems like they're going to go into Arrowhead on Thursday night and on next Thursday night and play Daniel Falele at right guard. Got me. Wow. So that's what it's going to be. I'm predicting that as far as the starting lineup. They did carry two quarterbacks. Some people, there was a rule now where they can no longer just elevate a quarterback off the practice squad. Here's a problem that they have. They're not any good. Like, it doesn't matter anyway. You're not going to play Devin Leary anywhere. They're going to have to go out and get somebody. The thought process is, I'm sure, it's not a problem yet. We're not going to worry about it yet. Lamar's going to play, and it may not matter, and so we'll worry about it when it comes. They certainly have nobody else that can start for them. That's definitely a problem. So we will see what happens with that.